Alrighty. Something in tuning with it. Call my line with M37. You got the M37, especially with the whole music video, the official music video and everything, everything else, coming into this one. Especially with the whole, the director and everything else. Shout out to the director, with the whole thing coming into it. But you got the M37, especially with the Call My Line, especially with the 37s, especially with them, because they didn't have some round the crowners, sounds and music and all this, and Lennox and stuff like that coming into it, especially with the M37s, because they all those other ones, especially all their other sounds and their basic music videos, those ones have a real quintet to it, but you got the whole M37, especially with the whole, they in the whole looks like they in a somewhere they slocked it at and everything else, but you just got with the whole, with the 37, especially with the M.
Z-Flow. Wanna call my line, go hit my burner. Step to the gang, then you step to the purchase. Dead red rum, don't be told about murder. Blood on. Wanna call my line, go hit my burner. Step to the gang, then you step to the purchase. Dead red rum, don't be told about murder. Blood on the lick, big dog here, earner. Drive the range, get away like a surfer. Ride the wave if you try to get further. Piss in the sea, little boy, you a learner. You say here to me, but I never ever heard of it. Never fuck with y'all. Wanna call my line, go hit my burner. Step to the gang, then you step to the purchase. Dead red rum, don't be told about murder. Blood on the lick, big dog here, earner. Drive the range, get away like a surfer. Ride the wave if you try to get further. Piss in the sea, little boy.
Ooh, ride the wave if you trying to get farther. And just with the whole thing, like, especially how everything is, cause suited too, they didn't did it in the whole, like, they didn't did the whole thing, how it is, and especially how everything else, like, they didn't did everything in the, especially where it was shot at too, they did it inside of a dental, like, garage place where it's, like, shuttled and everything else, especially with the whole thing, like he said, you want to call my line, but to call that burner, like, oof, like the whole thing and everything else, like, especially the way the whole thing is already, like, grappling and everything else, that whole thing is already attaching, like, the way this whole thing is already affiliated and the whole thing is already coming together, especially with the whole guys, like, you got every particular guys in the whole consent of the scenes.
You a learner, you say here to me, but I never ever heard of it. Never fuck with y'all ever did. Skills go hard like Ronaldo Madrid. Playing them games like the one called Squid. Knock off his lid, and she be lit. Mob ties, whole gang be packing. Running up the band so we can't be lacking. Taking them trips over time, we mapping. Back in the hood, we backstreet scrapping. Potential off 12 o'clock. Game with me, bullets pop, niggas. Taking them trips over time, we mapping. Back in the hood, we backstreet scrapping. Potential off.
Oh, taking these trips. Hey, best believe we mapping. Hey, we mapping and everything else. Like he said, best believe we taking these trips. Especially on the mapper thing, like especially the whole thing, like the way everything is like diluted and everything else, like diluting and evolution.
12 o'clock, game with me, bullets pop, niggas drop. If you came and walk and say what's up before you cup, kick back, we'll sip them up. You know I ride for this hood, 37 gon' show 'em what's good. Since back then, me and bro stood, here and listen, we just on foot.
I'm an M-Town stepper when I step through. Money bags in the bottom trying to get to. Like west to the bush trying to bore and shoot my shot, cause you know that I'm meant to. I'm a 37, remember where I'm coming.
Ooh, what do you say? He said trying to shoot his shot cause you know that he's rent. Ooh, cause you know that he's rent told, like, ooh. I had a whole thing, especially how it's like they really delusion, like they coming in from different, delusion times, like coming from different, or poor shows, like they come from different times, different illusional times and everything else. But he said, coming in just like he was from the rental, like shoot, the whole thing, especially how the whole thing was connected in Brazil.
The who shines and they all start running. If he talk on the gang anywhere, anytime, me and bro gonna have to start gunning. We ain't stressed about love, we ain't loving. You a fake boy, you claim you my cousin. Big bands, them checks and them dozens. Spitting this flame like I came out the oven. Big bands, big money, big cash, you know that I'll ball a lot. If you fuck with gang, we making bands with the clan. Shoot shots like a Chris Bosh.
Wanna pull my line, go hit my burner. Step to the gang, then step to the purchase. Red, red rum, them talk about murder. Plot on the lick, big dog here, earner. Drive the range, get away like a surfer. Ride the wave, we try to get further. Piss in the sea, little boy, you learn it. You say you heard of me, but I never ever heard of
in
you.
the cut for the gang on a mission. I'm a bad boy like I play for the Pistons. Touch when I'm on, do you know I'm tripping? This 37 gang, turn a boy into a victim. Walk with a limp, but nah, I ain't pippin'. Me and AJ, that's like Jordan and Pippin. Too many stakes, so I gotta keep pushing. Tryna play hard to get, but I know that she drippin'. Hey, sleazy baby, doing too much. I told her take it easy, baby. We in the field and we going wild. My boys take trips like Diddy, baby. I'm straight up out the hood. M37 gang, you know it's good. Hold it down for the team just like I should. Try cut, baby, do.
Oh, let it know. Hey, let him. Hey, he letting us know. He said he holding it down just for the 37 of the slicks. Like he said, he's holding it down for many of the guys. Like, hey, hey, let him know, because he's the main one putting it on for the whole, the whole intrusials. Especially how this whole thing is coming. Like everything else, especially how we said, 37 to the 37. Him from his whole 37, and then him putting it down, holding it down, putting all those concentrics, like, hey, he got it on a wrist, like he got it on Shay's lock, like the way this whole thing is already flipped into, especially especially the place where they didn't shot it at and stuff like that, where they shot the video at. It's technically cold, especially you got all the guys with you too, so this one's protectorless.
Too much, I told her take it easy, baby. We in the field and we going wild. My boys take trips like Diddy, baby. I'm straight up out the hood. M37 gang, you know it's good. Hold it down for the team just like I should. Try to come to the ends, I wish they would.
Big check, but they know they're getting heated. Young hitter, live a big nigga speechless. Don't talk on the gang, better watch what you say. When they say getting checked, they repeat it. On the grind, so the nights getting sleepless. Got a hustle trying to cop new sneakers. Fuck Jakes, I don't know what police is. Walk out like Terry and Meech did. Whoop stops, members drop, bitches plot. Free bro, fuck sentencing. Protect the brand, tend to stand little hitters. No face like Slender Man. Ducking down inside your house, cracking rounds. Better get the pick. Dick again off his hand, catch a body. Let it go, don't remember shit. Remember shit.
With this one though coming into right here, you got the M37, with the whole thing, like, like he said, he's a 37, 30, hey, the 37 babies, coming into it. But you got just with this whole thing, especially with the whole thing, over scaling, like they was really, tragedy, especially with all the guys too. Like you got mainly all the guys, so it's a lot of them. It's a lot of 37s, that's how I look at it, because you had different guys, coming in, different guys, put it in, they was all suited in. They all came in one, particularly schizo moment. But you got with the M37 Call My Line official music video, especially with this whole thing right here coming into it. You coming in with the whole thing, especially with the official music video and everything else, the M37 and them having their whole thing. But they had the whole thing schizo miss, a schizo bitch, with this whole thing coming into it, especially with everything else. But most definitely make sure you guys check this one out. But make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, everything else. And just with this whole thing coming into it, especially with the M37. So most definitely, with this whole thing.